Speaking of Patty Mac, I was laddering about 11 hours ago. He was online. I stopped, I took a nap, I woke up, I came back. Patty Mac is still online and in-game.
He's still
and
online.
it's not like he's AFK, it says he's online. Patty Mac, calm down, my guy.
Sleep is for the weak. It's for the weak.
It really is. Sleep and food. Who needs them? Or I guess you can eat and play at the same time if you're not, if you're not Chase.
True.
But anyway, we are going to be kicking off our series here in Monterrey on Berlingrad, LE, or in the bottom right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom right-hand corner. We, of course, have our red player coming out from the land of Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh City, to be exact, which is a city that looks pretty similar to my background, I do believe. He is going to be representing the Juggernauts. He is the admin, MeomaikA.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner, going for a Forge first opening here on Berlingrad, we have the Australian Protoss. He is blue, representing the Cranky Ducklings. It is StarDuck.
What better map to pull it off on, and such a good location for it too.
Well, the thing is, the problem is that MeomaikA didn't keep an overlord above his natural. He's sending them across the map, so he has no idea the cannons are gonna finish.
Is that within his vision? It's not! It's barely not within his vision!
Yeah.
But the cannons are gonna be in range of the hatchery! And he even gets a gateway there!
Oh my god, it's happening again. MeomaikA messed up. When you go up against a Protoss player, you make a choice. Do you want to leave your overlord above your natural just in case to scout something like this? And MeomaikA, he forgot the kind of dirty player that StarDuck is. StarDuck even steals the gas!
Give this man a raise.
Oh my god, we do have the cancel on the hatchery. Just like that, MeomaikA is stuck on one base. And this gas steal is so important. And oh my god, I have not seen this response before. Again, if it wasn't for this gas steal, MeomaikA would take a second gas and go into roaches, right? You need the gas for the roaches. But now he's stuck on only one.
So he gets a hatchery, which I think I can understand the logic behind this, right?
Yeah.
You're going to be relying a lot more on Zerglings because, again, you don't have that much gas, so you might as well get all the production you can get purely for Lings.
Exactly, exactly. And what's important is StarDuck has no idea. He does not see this at all. So because of that, he's in a really weird position right now. If he does try to transition, like, he could end up getting caught off guard by, I was going to say a Ling Flood. StarDuck is committed to this proxy. He is not stopping.
Building more and more cannons, and I think at a certain point you do reach a diminishing returns, I think is the term, when it comes to dealing with cannons using Lings. There's just so much, there's just a finite amount of surface area you can really get on the cannons there.
And what's important is that these cannons are pre-spread as well. So if MeomaikA, another way to respond to this is you throw down a Baneling Nest with Lings and you try and bust the cannons and the shield batteries. But again, like, they are very nicely spread out. Like, Banelings will not get efficient trades on them at all.
He's almost walling off that natural base. That natural base opening.
Yeah. Like, this is getting ridiculous here. So this could have gone one of two ways. We either see a proxy Robo or a proxy Stargate. Stargate for Void Rays, which you're familiar with. But instead, yeah, it is going to be Immortals.
Which are a lot beefier. They can deal with roaches and potentially spine crawlers a lot. A lot easier than Void Rays.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of would have, part of me almost would have preferred the Void Ray. I don't know, it's kind of hard to say just because of the limited Queen production. But of course it is that Immortal instead. Meanwhile, as we get into this massive shout out to Tempo Jesus.
Whoa!
It's been a while, mate. Massive shout out. Thank you so much for the raid. It's been a while. I hope you enjoyed your ladder session, as he is another StarCraft streamer out there. Thank you so much.
Yeah, hearts in the chat coming up. Welcome everybody from Tempo Jesus stream.
Yeah, here we go. And I'm a little bit concerned just because StarDuck honestly doesn't have too much army. Like, he hasn't thrown down additional gateways. Like, he's just relying on these lone Immortals, and if he's not too careful with the Lings, they can definitely just try and catch them. Sure, he has a War Prison to micro, but again, it just feels very risky.
well, it's kind of risk reward here, right? When you're going for Immortals versus Void Race. Immortals are just a little bit more powerful, and they can deal with non-armored units with a bit more impact than Void Race can.
Exactly. Meanwhile, StarDuck is taking the MeomaikA's natural base.
Right under his Overlord, too. Just flexing on him at this point.
I mean, he's gonna have overcharge, mate. He's gonna have overcharge.
He will, won't he?
Oh my god. This is disgusting. This is beautiful.
He's still gonna have to use overcharge defensively. I don't think I've seen anyone use overcharge offensively or aggressively, but you know, it's just another additional bit of insurance here for him.
Yeah, but like, look at the sheer amount of lings. 10 more lings are on the way. Like, this is what I'm worried about. Like, with all these lings, Immortals, their DPS is not what you want against them. We have a decent amount of cannons, but is it going to be enough? As MeomaikA, he's just committing. He's just going down the ramp.
Yeah, we don't have the Nexus yet. We
No!
don't have the Overlords yet. One Immortal already goes down. And that Pylon powering 2 shield batteries and a couple of cannons as well has got taken out. Beautiful Bile on top of that sieged up. Warp Prism, and this is exactly what we were talking about, Light. With Immortals and Warp Prism, you can have a lot more impact, but it is a much riskier option.
Exactly.
It's a lot less safe than Void Ray.
GG gets called. MeomaikA takes the first game. And I just love how MeomaikA recognized, because I noticed it as it was happening. Like, yo, there are only 2 pylons powering everything. Like, oh my god. And he immediately targeted down, depowered everything. Sure, the War Prism sieged up, but the Biles were enough to take it down. Again, we needed some more support. A couple of Zealots would have been amazing there. Problem is that there wasn't a Warp Gate, right? Like, there wasn't a lot of tech.
Unfortunately. I'm looking at this army value graph, Light, and oh, geez, that really does paint the picture.
It really does. Like, cannons and shield batteries, they can be pretty good, but they, of course, have to be powered. And we did have a lack of pylons there for StarDuck.
Bit of a lack of power.
There you go. And with that one explosive game 1, MeomaikA does fight back, despite things, for the most part, looking good there for StarDuck. Game 2, mate, I got no idea what to expect.
Well, what's the map gonna be?
True.
My question. Turns out it's gonna be Hardwire.
Oh,
so
here.
I have to... Yeah, so I have to doubt that we'll see something similar to game number 1 on Hardwire. Especially just because you don't want to be doing a cannon rush 2 games in a row, right? You gotta keep your opponents on your toes. Oh, rip game hard.
I agree. Of course, you can't get more aggressive than Berlingrad out of all maps. So I do think that was a really nice opportunity for StarDuck to like get a cheeky win in game 1 in this series, but that was kind of stripped away from him. So it's going to be difficult to come back on a more standard map like Hardwire.
Yeah. So I have to wonder if well, we did see StarDuck go for that very flexible tech switching style of Protoss against Demi, but I do feel like that was I kind of feel like that was planned, right? You go for a style like that after you're able to make sure that your opponent plays defensive, plays a little bit more passive. Since StarDuck hasn't been able to do that to MeomaikA in game number 1, I don't know. We'll see.
We shall see here as we are diving into game number 2. As you said, StarDuck really impressed us against Demi in that series, but our Zerg player here is completely different.
Absolutely. He's completely different than when we've seen him the last time as well, 2 weeks ago. So just internalize the name change here. In the bottom left-hand corner of the map, swatting all the way in the bottom of the left-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player coming down all the way from the land of Vietnam. He, of course, is going to be representing the Juggernauts. Shout to Calibre. He is no longer Mio. He is no longer a lair. He is the admin, MeomaikA.
And oh my god. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Hardwire LE, we have the Australian Protoss player. He is blue, representing the Cranky Ducklings. Currently down in this series, but no doubt, it is StarDuck.
Mouse glued to the production tab. He shouldn't be getting a forge.
He went for Nexus first at this area is the Forge. This is a new build that has been popping up recently, has been gaining popularity is what I should say, and I think StarDuck may just die. Because we'll see, as MeomaikA did open up with, I think it was a 14 pool.
It was, yeah. He did an extractor trick as well.
So Ling's going to be coming out here. StarDuck does confirm that the hatchery is late with this probe scout, so this should tell him to wall off at home and get those cannons up, and then he'll be okay. Oh my god. He's committing? Okay.
Well, best case scenario, this draws all the links back, right?
It didn't though.
Right?
It didn't. MeomaikA doesn't care. He's coming across. We need a full wall. StarDuck, wall off, puppy. It's still not a full wall.
The link's already halfway across the map, and that should be enough. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what this kind of like stabilizes things a little bit here. So StarDuck can't be aggressive with his forge. Meanwhile, MeomaikA can't really be too aggressive with these lings because this cannon should finish up.
Well, he's going to try to be aggressive though, yeah, very good use of the backup wall. Very quick reaction from StarDuck at that. But despite that, he will still lose 2 of these probes and just kind of get contained on 2 bases at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. So this isn't the kind of opener that StarDuck wanted, but at least he survived. You know, at least he's alive. If he didn't take this pull for seriously, he would have just straight up fallen over and died. And from here, I imagine we're going to see the StarDuck that we're used to. I imagine he's going to go into Skytoss from here.
There we go. That's the Stargate.
Yeah, there we go. This is the first signs of that from StarDuck.
What would the next sign be then?
I mean, the second Stargate or +1 air attack, right?
Yeah. Maybe a Stargate unit.
Oh god.
Could just be a could just be a decorative Stargate.
Sure, it's possible, mate. It's possible. But MeomaikA, upon seeing this, immediately is going for a lair.
Huh. Well, he knows that there's gonna be quite some time before StarDuck can really muster up enough of a sky toss force to even just harass across the map. Confirms that StarDuck is going for oracles, or at least an oracle. Yeah,
like, so the problem with StarDuck's opener is, again, because the Forge first didn't really accomplish much, is that everything else is delayed, right? And because of that, MeomaikA can be greedy and just drone up and work off of just 3 lings and get a fast lair and tech up. So MeomaikA, he's doing a really good job at just capitalizing on his advantages here. And we'll see if he can, like, where this leads us. Because with a fast lair, he could just go for a fast spire, but it's MeomaikA. Of course it is. We have a Hydra then.
Indeed, we do. Just waiting for that creep to start getting spread by the overlords, and MeomaikA just go full Hydra walk. Probably not going to see any roaches this game, are we?
Yeah, I really doubt it as.
No, the Oracle! Oh, it was just a little bit too late at pulling away. Does get sniped at the last second. Doesn't get any drone kills.
Yeah, and this is really scary because it isn't just that the Oracle got killed. He saw the lair, he didn't go into the natural, he didn't scout the Hydra den. And a Hydra push is going to be coming relatively soon. And StarDuck has no idea. He is getting ready for Immortals. Oh, never mind. We see a Robotics Bay thrown down. I kind of like this.
Yeah, as do I. I feel like Colossus are going to take a little bit too long to make if he goes that route, but Disruptors are one hell of an anti-Hydra unit.
that they are. Meanwhile, what's important as MeomaikA is throwing down 3 spines is that MeomaikA actually sees part of this gateway explosion with his Overlord. Unfortunately for StarDuck, this hasn't been scouted and this hasn't been dealt with. The Overlord, I mean. So MeomaikA is getting a lot of free scouting. As he does back off here, but yeah, so he's getting ready at home, and yo, he's going into lurkers. He's learning.
I didn't think I'd live to see the daylight.
Oh my god. For those wondering, MeomaikA in ZVP, he typically like goes for Hydra timings and maybe Hydra Viper, but very rarely has he made lurkers before.
Yeah, so I grabbed that infestation pit and I thought, oh yeah, that's 100% for infestors, isn't it? MeomaikA's just gonna go full infest a Hydra, but now I'm just waiting for the... Oh, I guess he canceled the infestation pit earlier on, actually. Well, he's gonna retake it and eventually get his hive. Unfortunately, a little bit mistimed if he wants to sync it up with his Hydra upgrade, so...
Yeah, and now I'm worried for StarDuck, because sure, he's working on getting a 3rd base, and MeomaikA, his 4th is late, because MeomaikA isn't really one to drone up too much. That's why his economy isn't that amazing. Regardless, though, lurkers are amazing against ground toss, and that's what we're seeing from StarDuck.
We teased him too much, Light.
We did. No.
We teased him too much. After the first series, he said, I can play ground toss, you guys. You know that, right? No. We pushed him over the edge.
We did. He fell off the wagon.
No.
For those wondering, we always tease StarDuck because he always either goes Cannon Rush or Sky Toss, and now he's committed to a ground toss army. And this is a little bit worrisome, just because we already have so much static defense. We have the capability to go into lurkers, and there's very limited detection here. There's actually no detection whatsoever for StarDuck.
I just realized that, yeah. Again, that Oracle that got taken out very early in this game would have been valuable. But MeomaikA kind of reveals his hand a little prematurely.
He does. He pushes out with 2 lurkers, which honestly is insane. Like, this army is not very big for MeomaikA. He just needed to stay at home, defend, and fight with spores. Sorry, fight with spines, and he just didn't.
Absolutely. 2 vanilla lurkers, mind you.
Yeah.
Hype's still not done for MeomaikA yet, so yeah. Think of that, StarDuck's still in this.
I'll be honest, I don't know what he was thinking pushing out across the map, but at least he didn't lose any lurkers.
Yeah, there's still no detection that can really deal with them. StarDuck's actually not producing it. Okay, now he's getting him service out.
Oh, finally, it's on the way. Meanwhile, we do have a slow Dropper-Lord push coming. Oh, they're so slow with that pneumatized carapace. This is disgusting.
Jeez.
This is not right.
So you can't even tell they're moving, honestly.
Is there a world where these slow Dropper Lords get caught out? Is there?
I doubt it, because Pneumatized Carapace is going to finish up.
Okay, there we go.
Zoom, zoom.
Yeah, zoom, zoom. The Dropper Lords are on the way. Meanwhile, the army gets scouted. Does MeomaikA turn around? He needs his army to defend, or does he?
Well, we'll see. He's currently fighting with half his army. He has a lot of spine crawlers, though, so I think he can get away with this. Yeah, he's able to chase the Protest army back, and those Drop Lords are still making their way to the main base.
That they are. Meanwhile, there are no lurkers to defend, so now or never for StarDuck. Obviously, he can recall whenever he wants. Ooh, there's not enough energy for a recall in the main base, only in the natural.
And there's no detection in the main base either at the moment. Not sure if there are lurkers in those Drop Lords, but if there were...
Yeah, I believe there are. We'll see as the drop is happening. Meanwhile, StarDuck is getting an entire base essentially for free, but the drop does happen here in the main.
And the Tigers are already chipping away at everything they can. StarDuck pulled back for a quick second, but then realized, wait a minute, that's where half of your army's at. Let me just deal as much damage as I can before being forced to recall.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't think he needs to. Like, oh, we do have a bit of a yoink, and just like that, one of the closest gets taken out. Lurkers are set up here defensively, and pushing into this is going to be so difficult for StarDuck.
Yeah, there's one Absorber right now, but there's no real anti-lurker unit that can really take advantage of that. There's no Immortals out, no... Okay, just one Immortal, but that's going to be enough.
Yeah, I mean, 2 lurkers just get taken out because MeomaikA left it exposed. He did not have his army in position. Now there's only 1 lurker remaining. And there is detection here. StarDuck, it's not going to take him long to power through this.
But behind all of this, StarDuck has lost his main base. He's lost all of his production. All that StarDuck has right now when it comes to his army is what he's left grip is what he's left with.
Yeah, exactly.
He only
Meanwhile,
has one Stargate for production.
yeah, and the Hydra's still wreaking havoc across the map. Meanwhile, StarDuck has to be careful. He has to make sure he controls his army well. He doesn't want to lose that Colossus.
I'm honestly a little bit surprised that StarDuck hasn't recalled yet. This is a brilliant use of the force fields. MeomaikA tried to get us surrounded with all his drones, but instead he just cripples his own economy.
Yeah, that he does. StarDuck is going for the kill move right now. He doesn't care about coming back home. And so far it's working, right? All the lurkers are dead. I believe the Vipers are dead. The Hydras are running out. We just have drones.
MeomaikA gets impatient for even just a second. Hydras are going to trickle into this and all just fall like that. He's trying to go for a surround, but it ain't enough. I think the Viper from earlier on got taken out.
Yeah,
well,
that it did. There's nothing remaining here. Meanwhile, StarDuck is down to only one base. MeomaikA has 3 hatcheries, so we are going full base trade here. But if the production gets taken out, like, again, MeomaikA just doesn't have that much left at home.
Doesn't. Trying to go for a surround now, but I'm not convinced he actually has enough supply to pull this off. He's trying to target down the Colossus. It's not quite working out for him. The supplies are looking very, very even, but that can only favor the Protoss player at the end of the day, can't it?
Exactly. Here we have the reinforcements that are coming across the map. The Hydras, they've depowered so much, but again, they're not really doing much else. And StarDuck, he's finding his way up the ramp. A lot of the drones have already been taken out. Lings are on the way. But I think he's done it. I think he's doing it.
I think so as well. MeomaikA, if he sent the Hydras across the map back home, then maybe there's a chance for him, but he ain't doing that.
Yeah, the stutter stepping is good enough here. The final army of MeomaikA is being taken out. 53 drones go down. There is one mining base here, to be fair, and the Hydrogen is still alive. So, like, a lot of the tech hasn't been dealt with.
The Hydra is still alive, and he also got a Spire.
True. He's working on plus. Really?
That's ambitious.
That's ambitious,
That's
Mio. What's going on? We have a recall back home. +1 air attack?
Huh.
+1 air attack? There's one Muta on the way. Mio doesn't have the minerals.
That one Muta is gonna destroy a mineral line, though. I'm sorry, these 2 Mutas.
Oh my god. Mio, please. I
feel like that is the game ending move, honestly. Trying to go for +1 instead of army units. Yeah,
that's
how.
how.
That just puts him.
That's how StarDuck's gonna win the game, mate. That's how he's
exactly.
That's how he's gonna do it. Oh god, as StarDuck, he has not scouted the bottom right, but he is checking. He's barely seen the creep. There we go. The Spire is exposed. No, +1 is not gonna finish. No.
Oh no, +1's not gonna finish.
That was his comeback.
Was it?
No, not at all, mate. What are you talking about? What are you on about?
Yeah, Muta's out, and the only chance that MeomaikA really has to deal with this entire army full of Blink Stalkers is to try to catch the Colossus out of position, but that's not looking likely at all.
Yo, but the army's honestly pretty big here from MeomaikA. Like, look at that. He's actually banked up a decent amount of Lings, a decent amount of Mutas as well. The Spire went down, but honestly not fast enough. To be fair, though, we have a lot of energy for force fields. The Lings, there shouldn't be a world where they actually get on top of the army.
Exactly. I feel like StarDuck doesn't even need the force fields. These Stalkers should provide enough of a buffer. The Muta's just having a really hard time dealing with these Colossus, and the Colossus having a very easy time dealing with the Hydras and the Lings. GG is called. StarDuck takes us to Ace after one of the strangest PvZs I've ever seen.
that was a long all-in. That was crazy.
Yeah.
I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. I was like, oh my god, is this gonna work? Like, is MeomaikA gonna come back home with his Hydras? He never did. Is he gonna remake the Lurker then and try and make like 1 or 2 or 3 Lurkers towards the end? He never did that either. Instead, he went for Mutas, which Mutas, to be fair, are good in a base trade scenario, but yeah.
Not in a hit-on engagement scenario.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of it. I don't think MeomaikA got any upgrades for his Lurkers.
Look at in-game chat. oh my god. So for those wondering, StarDuck just messaged us And he's like, I have no idea what I'm doing. But it worked!
Now he's learning to play like Meo.
Kura's like, Mio doesn't know what he's doing either. And they're like, we don't know what the hell you're doing. No one knows what anyone is doing right now. This is Oceanic and Southeast Asian StarCraft, people. Let's go.
Nobody has any idea what they're doing, but it works.
It works, mate. It works.
That's why MeomaikA is at the top of the region.
That's why MeomaikA toured Maru, okay? That's why.
Exactly. If he doesn't know what he's doing, how can Maru know what he's doing, right?
Exactly.
To Maru, to Ragnarok. Who's next?
We're not a chase in the chat. Yeah, but think about how strong that one muta will be with +1.
True. Flamebuster Chow was like, he could have made like 8 mutas, potentially 12, towards the end of the game if he didn't go for +1.
Yeah, he just needed more resources, right? Like, because he was constantly pulling drones, even from across the map and stuff. Like, yeah, he was struggling when it comes to the economy, and just like that, we are going into our ace match.
Indeed, we are, as we conclude our series here on Glittering Ashes LE in the top right-hand corner map, starting all the way in the top right-hand corner. We have a red Zerg player coming down from the land of Vietnam. He is, of course, going to be representing the Juggernaut and going for a 12 pool. He is MeomaikA.
He's pulling the classic Mio 12 pool on Glittering Ashes. Let's go.
Why the hell not?
Why the hell not? And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Glittering Ashes LE, we have the Australian Protoss player. He is blue, representing the Cranky Ducklings, tying up the series 1-1 in the last game. It is StarDuck. Is he going for another Nexus Forge? He is.
I hope not.
I mean, again, he's going to be okay if he can wall off. What I'm scared of is that if we saw last game, he barely walled off against a 14 pool.
And now he's going to have to barely wall off against 12 pool.
Yeah.
Another Forge, and he's sending that probe across the map. This does not bode well, does it, like?
Exactly. 8 Lings are on the way. What's important to bear in mind is that, again, this is a large map, so it does take a little bit longer for the Lings to get across the map, unlike Hardwire. Meanwhile, will the probe... No, the probe will miss the Lings! But he'll confirm the hatchery. He should recognize what's coming his way, and he needs to wall off. He needs it desperately.
Really does. Don't throw down the pylon. Don't throw down a pylon. He doesn't throw down a pylon. Whew.
Yeah.
Okay. Started taking this seriously.
Yeah, he saw how late that was. Cannon is on the way, but the Lings are about to show up, buddy. The Lings are about to show up. We need the wall. And even if the wall comes up, is it going to be enough to stop all these Lings?
Is that enough of a wall? It is enough of a wall. Whew.
It is with the
but
wall.
It's a little too late.
Yeah, the wall does. Oh, that was a kill, not a cancel. The probe goes down. The Lings get us around on the cannon, and I believe that is it. That is game 12 full on Glittering Ashes. Ay.
Can't believe this is how it ends after 2 games of absolute insanity.
I know.
This is how we end our series.
I mean, the Zealot is going to come out, but the Pylon is going to get depowered. Only a single Zealot, and there are enough Lings to get us around. Behind this, MeomaikA's droning up. He's ahead in workers. He doesn't even care, mate.
Yeah, credit to StarDuck. He's keeping himself in the game. There is a chance for him to pull this off with good enough probe drilling. But when I say good enough, I mean absolutely perfect. 0 room for error.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, yeah, 1 error is all. It's all it really takes for MeomaikA to continue his momentum.
Exactly. Just look at the drone count. Like, that's all we have to talk about. Look at the worker count, I should say. MeomaikA, he's going for a fast lair. This could mean anything. This could be just 2-base Spire, because 2-base Spire would just win the game.
Do you think he's gonna go for +1?
Oh, yo, +1.
Yo!
Let's go.
Now would be the time.
Oh, God.
Lings are finally going to get cleared out, but as he was saying, the big picture here is that worker count, which is just heavily in MeomaikA's favor. Exactly. He's up 13 workers right now.
It was just an unfortunate opening here from StarDuck. Like, going for a Nexus Forge is a very greedy opener. as we have spoken about before. Like, it delays your gateway, delays your cyber core, delays everything, in favor of a faster base to be greedy. But yeah, the 12 pool from Mio was just too good, and there it is. There's the Spire.
+1 is going to be on the way. Do have a full wall off as well in the natural base with Vivo Chambers, so yeah. MeomaikA doesn't intend for this game to last too much longer, does he?
He really doesn't, because again, mutas will. There's no answer to them. There's no Blink Stalkers, there's no Stargate, there's no Phoenixes, there's no Void Rays. We will have a Stalker, but again, without Blink, without any upgrades, like, mutas can just avoid it and.
Or even fight the Lone Stalker if there are enough mutas.
True. They didn't even care, mate. They didn't even care. We don't even have Warp Gate right now, mate. It just now starts at 5 minutes.
And StarDuck probably doesn't want to Chrono Boost it either, because he needs that Chrono Boost back up in the worker count. This is just a very unfortunate situation to find yourself in.
Yeah.
In an ace match.
It really is. It really is. Again, like, I question. I don't like the idea of opening up greedy on a map like Pride of Altaris or Glittering Ashes against Mio, because it's Mio, and these are the maps where he does open up with the 12 pool the most frequently, just because it's unexpected, right? Just because it is a little bit inefficient. But you know, if your opponent's greedy, then it works out.
Guess MeomaikA is demonstrating 6 meters on the way, as well as Nidus. Because why the hell not? Roadborn too, because you know what?
Jesus.
What if the mutas aren't enough? You know, he doesn't have +1 flyer weapons, so you know, mutas might not be enough. Might as well get the Roachborn and Nidus Worm to just round yourself off.
Exactly. As the mutas are about to show up here, we do have 2 Stalkers on the way and 1 Stalker at the natural, to be fair. But with good enough control, which MeomaikA should have, like, he should have his way with all of this. Couldn't even fight the Stalker if he wanted to, but instead just focuses down worker after worker.
Yeah, so should no battery here yet, so it's an opportunity here for MeomaikA. But 8 probes, he's not gonna complain. He's gonna maintain his very dominant worker lead.
That he is. And now I'm really curious to see what happens with this Nidus. We do have an Overlord getting vision in the main base. The Zealot is on patrol, but it's about to be Dedge. And this is a great place for a Nidus.
So much vision here. Is he gonna go for it? Now he does, after he distracts the Stalker army.
Yeah, oh god, it's so smart the way he's using these mutas to just force these Stalkers out of position and into the natural base. And StarDuck has no idea, as finally the Nidus does finish up.
War Prism pops up just to see the Nidus. Man.
Yeah, and look at how many roaches are coming out. Jesus Christ, GG gets called, and MeomaikA takes Game 3 and the series.
Well played there. Unfortunately, StarDuck didn't know what he was doing, MeomaikA didn't know what he was doing, but MeomaikA didn't know what he was doing more.
Exactly.
Thus, was able to take the W.
It was kind of a build order win there, which is unfortunate when it happens, but, you know, risks were taken, gambles were made, and MeomaikA, he moves on. I'm a little bit disappointed just because I did want to see another straight up game between these 2 players. I've been very impressed with StarDuck recently, and I wanted to see more of it, but we were robbed of it.
So made my head.
Exactly.
But with that, we're going to go into a very classic matchup that we've got right now. The ZVZ that we're all, I'm sure, very familiar with. It's MeomaikA versus GoGo Joey.